My name is Vasilika Klimova. Very happy to be here today with you. Thanks for coming for the session. Today we speak about AI, not implementation, but AI using by product and not only product managers, but management level. So let me a bit introduce myself. So my background is 15 years as a software engineer. It's web development. At the beginning, I was full stack developer with PHP. Then I switched to front end mostly. I worked in different industries like fintech, 3D, blockchain. Now I'm in consultancy. And I also got GD expert, like I'm Google developer expert in web. It's a Google program, very nice one for public like speakers and people with public activities. Also MVP in web and security, it's Microsoft program. And so, of course, women tech makers ambassador, so everyone can be, not only girls, if you deliver something for women about tech. So, in my last path, I decided, so several years ago, I started my own web agency in parallel to my main work. And I understood that I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed like project management and also product management to help people to grow their companies and etc. So not only as a just developer who is like doing something for someone. And I switched to developer relations at the beginning. It was quite fun experience. And now I decided that I would love to go to more management, and I started to work at Dupont Technologies. So dev evolution. Let's speak how was it started and like to see some perspective here. So I was born just like before this in '89, and I started, of course, not at school even HTML and CSS, but when I started my first job in 2010, I used HTML, CSS, just pure without any frameworks. We had these problems, with Internet Explorer, transparency images, and etc. So it was fun experience. I remember this time, and when I asked at my first job, like, how should I deploy something to the server? The answer was FTP protocol. If you just like transfer something to the folder, and if someone just rewrote the file on the server, then like that's a problem. You need to find another version of this file to be able to restore. So it's not very secure, you can imagine, right? We lost the picture, sorry. Something wrong. Yeah, so the story here was a bit, I think, interesting. Later we will go with the... I can try reconnect maybe? It's fine? Okay. So HTML, CSS, then we went to SV and Git. So as I said, FTP protocol was not very secure, I would say. And with Git, with control version systems, we were able to do it more secure way. We were not like deleting all our files. We could store different versions of our project. So in my case, it was around like after 1 year working in web development. Maybe in your area it was later or earlier, it depends on the companies. So then frameworks appeared in my life. So it was HTML, CSS. You already like learned a lot of CSS properties during several years. You started development, but then framework came. So, and you need to choose like what's better. So it was not many like Knockout, then React started, then it was also some other frameworks. With these frameworks, you need to be able to understand that like there are different opportunities how to solve the problem in development, right? So if before it was just simple JavaScript and that's all, now we have so many versions of this like JavaScript patterns, how we can write the code in front end. Of course, in back end it also was like this. So in whole development evolution, it was many steps. Then ID came to our world, and some people still maybe prefer Vim, but I know people who mastered ID, like for example JetBrains, right, big ones, you can do so fast some things, like in the whole project it can be everything can be refactored so fast, but you need to know how to deal with this functionality. Then CI/CD came, so now I cannot imagine how you don't do like pre-testing, right, pre-formatting of your code to do it much faster and not arguing with your colleagues about double or single brackets, because it's just like you have the rule, you have the style guide, everything in configuration, and then it just like immediately with one comment and could be changed. So it's so fast. We becoming faster and faster, and then AI came. So I think now a lot of people use it, and it depends how do you use it, right? Because at the beginning it was more after completion, I would say, something similar to that. And in JetBrains IDEs, it was much longer time, but it was not like real AI, right? But because now you see that how all these our models can just write code for you sometimes or do something for you. So we will speak about how all these models can help us if you're a manager, if you're not only a developer. So so we can just choose our fighter and decide what people can use even different models for different purposes. For example, Perplexity is famous for researching. ChatGPT is more general action. So, and you know that they have also models inside them. So, and models could be for different purposes, like someone with deep research, some models just like for general purposes, like answer all questions. And Claude is used a lot now for coding. So in different editors, code editors, and if you need to write something very fast, some, I don't know, graphs, for example, also quite good. DeepSeek, Chinese model, I would say just the good benefit that it's quite cheap, but also you need to think like what model gives you the better answers or not biased answers. Of course, there is no non-biased LLM in general, because all LLMs, they're all based on data that people created, and all of us, we are somehow biased. So just choose what you like. Gemini and Grok from Twitter. So have you already using? Raise your hand if you use the AI, at least like for something in your life. Okay, yeah, so what I thought. Plenty people, mostly people started to use it. Okay, vibe coding example. It's like real life now. A lot of managers, they even want to do something very fast, but some of them lack of technical skills sometimes. Here we see, I think, some junior developer or something like this. It's not like manager, but doesn't matter. The guy doesn't know the basics. Have you heard about this story? No? The guy was blaming Cursor. Cursor, it's a code editor, one of the famous now with AI like feature. It's like VS Code, but from Microsoft, but with like upgrade of AI. And so here the guy was writing the code, but in the end AI decided, after some of his prompt, after some of his requests, AI decided that, okay, let's delete everything, so we will write from scratch. I don't know what was the prompt actually there, the last one, but this guy was very furious to AI, like, why are you deleting all my files? But we need to think about like saving our files, like using Git, right? Commits. So I would say that for developers, now it's actually a very good point that if you use AI, you better commit more often than before, right? Because sometimes people do very big commits. Now, if you don't do that, then AI can write something and change a lot of things. You can restore them. But if you suddenly went through the next step, for now, they are not able to just like go through the history and to just cancel all several steps of your implementation of AI, not features, but AI coding. So there is no like back button for now, unfortunately. And that's why we need to see. You can stash files sometimes, like in some ID, you have this option to keep them somewhere in local history. That's useful. But the idea here, I would like to see another perspective, that even if you're trying to do something, you still need to know some basics with coding, because there are plenty of cases. Another case was with a developer, not developer, he was also like more startupper, the guy, I don't remember the name, unfortunately, it was just several months ago. The guy created an application and it was quite successful, but then he wrote officially that, oh, actually I built it with AI. And some fun developers for fun started to push him for security issues and etc. And so, of course, it was lack of a lot of things in the application regarding security. Maybe interface is good, but still you need to check. So even if you use AI and you think that it works good, you still need to see like expert opinion of your code, because it's not only about the structure of the code, it's more about some narrow points in your application that could be actually big issue in security or accessibility, also quite important now because of accessibility law. So you don't know about that if you're not developer, if you're not in this, you need expert opinion. So, okay. Next one, or next fun, I think, example, it's already, I don't know, several years without note takers. Do you use them? Note takers. So this Medium article, it's fun that sometimes you go to a meeting, it should be like 10 people, but meeting maybe not so, was not so important, and some people just send note takers, and so you just see a lot of note takers and just two people speaking with each other, and all other they like presenting, like, but actually they're not here. So it's good about note takers, then you can check like what was on this meeting and maybe do some summary. So note taker is not bad, but I think we need also to remember that we should be still speaking with each other, making decisions with each other. Not everything should be relied upon to AI. The data security. So when we are using AI, do you usually use pro version or free version? Or corporate version? Corporate, yeah. So if you use free version, you need to be very careful when you ask something from AI, like, for example, write your document and you put all your, I don't know, banking accounts or whatever, some information. So it's sensitive data, right? So you need to be very careful what are you sending there, because free version is free version. Only in pro version, some models, they write that we do not train our models on your data in pro accounts or corporate accounts. But in free version, there is no such rule usually. And that's why I would recommend use subscription if you really like send something, I don't know, something that could be used against you later somehow. And especially when we speak about work, when we analyze a lot of documents, we need to be also like think that some names, it's already sensitive information, like who are working there. So usually you need to remove all this information, like account numbers, names, etc. So it should be member 1, employee 2, or something like this. If you use it to analyze some files or to, again, some companies, they started to use local LLMs, local large this language model systems, but you need to think that here to remember that some models, they when they're local, not some models, but all models, when they're implemented locally in your some server room or whatever, with big machines, with very powerful machines, it still could sometimes maybe not enough. It depends on your company need. For what are you using AI? How much calculation should be done there? So, from some people who used and experimented a lot with LLMs and different paid versions, so I heard feedback that still paid versions of some these famous LLMs that I showed before, that it's more powerful. But again, it depends. Maybe for your case, it will be enough if you want to be very secure and you want to run it in your own machines on your servers. Maybe it's for you, it will be okay. But again, depends. I would say that it's secure when you have it locally, but you can also, I think, check corporate versions for different LLMs that are on the market, and maybe it would be a better option for you. Okay. The case how I started to use different options of ChatGPT in my case mostly. It's very it works very good with text to gather some information, for example, or to make some summary, right? So with text, it's just amazing. Get the important points very fast, so you don't need to read big text. You can just do summary. And it can make reports for you also. So I think that for now, I use Perplexity more for researching if I need, and for my just daily use, I use ChatGPT. It's just my experience. I don't say that other models are bad or no. I tried several of them, so I tried also Gemini, I tried a bit Grok, but mostly in Twitter to ask questions like, is it true or no? It's quite fun, I think, but at the same time, we need to think that if we ask everything for AI models, then maybe we will stop somehow with our cognitive features of our brain, and we need still to think by ourselves, right? To make some not decisions, but to make some analysis, what's important also. So I would not recommend to rely on everything, because models, they also not lying but hallucinating, but sometimes even lying, but not on purpose usually. So case research, very good also for different for example, you go to new market and you need to know more about them, and before you were going through Google, you spent hours for that. Now it's much faster, twice faster, definitely. You can see competitors market, and maybe even if you don't get the whole information here, but this is a start. This is a good start, and then research deeper, see clients of these companies and etc. Brainstorming. I think that brainstorming also quite good here option, but when we brainstorming something, we usually have already some points. And when we speak about generate new ideas, that's a very tricky question, because what is AI in the end? It's machines that train on data, again, on data that were created. And how it can generate new ideas only based on what already was created. And our brain works a bit in other way. Sometimes people can create something that never really actually existed in this way. And so with generating new ideas, I will show you latest some statistics and research that so I would not recommend to change your marketer or someone who are responsible of generating these ideas for AI, because people can do amazing things and machine is still only machine. So for brainstorming, good when you, for example, have several points and then you again need to conclude something and people will suggest some new ideas. That's good. But don't rely it like, and also because we are diverse, we usually hire people with a bit different, like even personality type, to be able to get some solutions to be more diverse and to generate more creative ideas. Template. So this is very, very convenient. You just say, I need to write him an email for that, or I need this document. So of course, this LLMs, they usually know a lot of things about different methodologies, different system, and etc. So you can just give some good prompting about what exactly do you need, and it's already done. You just do some changes. It's much easier always to do some changes than to write the whole file again from scratch. For example, sometimes you're not able, when you switch the job, you're not able to use templates for your from your previous job to new job. So AI is a very good helper here. Project plan, so all documents that project managers are using, or product managers, or even C-level, so you can do it very, very fast now. Project budget templates as well, and different metrics and graphs. So graphs. I like the way how this is Claude already, because Claude really doing a great job with coding, and this is just the example that you can very fast to get the graph, and it will be even interactive graph with some of your data. So quite useful for fast presentation for someone, for C-level, for example, or for clients, whatever. So now we can do it very efficient way. We just need to get the data, and then the rest will be calculated and visualized. Case of MVP. So a lot of startups and managers, when they are in startups, they sometimes don't have a lot of capacity and of developers, because developers cost a lot. Even with market problems now, they still cost a lot. And now developers, they're afraid that AI will make them disappear from the market, because AI can build MVP very fast, right? And you see the result, so just prompt, and then you get the whole application even deployed somewhere. You can share the link. So for MVP, it's amazing tool. It's so fast. Before it was some different options when people did from like Photoshop or from Figma, you get the page, right? But it's not the whole site, was like 5 years ago. But now it's working amazingly. So it's all interactive. And you don't need to create it like from scratch, all these files. But then you can update them. You can work with it. You can show it to normal developer and ask like what should be changed here later. So this is example with Replete, but also very popular now is Lovable. So they all do this very fast generations of applications. So for MVP or some like proof of concept, it could be very, very handy tool, I would say. But sometimes you need to be ready that for real project, if you got like investments, or I don't know what you wanted, you proved that your idea is working, then maybe you need to rewrite it from scratch. It depends, because it depends what you were using here, because sometimes you can ask like, I want to use like this framework, React framework with this on backend, and it already will be maybe quite good template. But sometimes, for example, people do, Flutter mobile applications. They're quite good. They work on production. But when you really want expensive experience with very native things, you go to native languages, right? So for Android, use Java, Kotlin. For you can use Swift for iPhones. So it's not Flutter, because Flutter is like web canvas version. So in such cases, it's very good for MVP, because it's quite easy to write. Okay, a couple words about prompting. some people told me, but I am asking and the answer is not very good. Like, I can do it even better. Yeah, but you can explain to your chat that, okay, this is what's wrong here also. And sometimes chat can also remember the points. How do you like? In coding, each like editor now has configuration that you can put there, and it will be writing code regarding your rules, how you like pre-prompting. And the same could be done for writing text. If you ask model, you can do like some, in some special place, you can pre-write this, like, I like this style. And it always will be for all of your text. Like, for example, they put quite a lot emoji ChatGPT. If you don't like emoji, just please don't put emojis. So it will be, you will be much calmer with that. So if you want some expert opinion, some model already started to do it like by default. So you, or they're already answering like they're highly experts. But I'm not sure like about all models. That's why I still, when I need really expert opinion, another one, then I write something that I'm like principal developer, or I don't know, senior or whatever manager. Ask step by step. So don't put in your first prompt a lot of information, because it will be somehow disorientated, and sometimes model can just forget what you wrote, everything, not forget, but like ignore something that you wrote because it was just too much details. And give context, but again be somehow limited directly for one task. With coding, it's the same trick. So you need to be very clear about what do you want, in what form you want. So because it could be chart, it could be table, it could be just text, whatever, list. And then ask for sources and examples. Perplexity gives you all sources by default. ChatGPT quite often ignores it. So you need to ask, please give me links, and sometimes links even don't work. In my case, you click and so nothing happens. So as I said, Perplexity I really prefer more for researching and proofs, because ChatGPT model, you need to switch, I think, the models to be able to get really the facts and not creative answers, because it's too general. Then give feedback to correct answers. So yeah, as ChatGPT says me, oh yeah, you're doing great, I also sometimes say, yeah, that's a very good answer. And sometimes it's written like, remember it. So remember that this was really good answer. And maybe next time, it's still black box, but maybe next time it will be close to this answer also. So case project manager, we use, Jira a lot. I think some people use Redmine, Asana for projects, but I started also for our small meetup here. We are doing Luxembourg Pulse, by the way, meetup for developers. So I started to use ClickUp for our organizers to make it easier. It's quite fast, it's free, so there are different versions, but they have so many AI things also to help, because Jira is very big, and so hard to go through when you don't need all the features. For example, also Notion board you can create, but it's not so. It's very configurable, but still it's not like for sprinting, right? But ClickUp is really for projects. And it has a lot of AI features, so I would recommend, if you start some small new project, try this. One of my favorite things, because I like to present, I'm speaker like last 10 years, and I started to use it. We had some event on Saturday, and 3 or 4 speakers prepared presentation using this tool. So it's becoming quite popular. There are plenty of others now. So this is Gamma app. You just can very easily and very fast to create some small presentations. 10 slides are for free. I don't know if the credits reimburse, because I spent some of them. I need to check if they were reimbursed like after 1 month. And so how does it look inside? Let's go a bit further. So this is the board. No, we don't. see this. Okay, so this is a board, and you can see here that there are some settings. You can use even tone, like what kind of how to say, attitude of your presentation for C-level or for fun meetup. Then you use language, you can upload some images that should be already in this presentation, some format. So there are plenty of here settings, and there you also can choose template if you saw on the video. And here you can put just like a string, like was on the previous slide, or you can slide by slide run information, not only titles, but you can write like everything what should be on this presentation. That's quite really works good. And as you saw here, the design sometimes is really beautiful, and it generated, and you can explain what kind of like style of images you need. You see, this is about Mars. So I don't know, it's so fast. And even me, I'm doing presentation 10 years, but sometimes, for example, especially now when I'm manager, I need presentation in 2 days for clients, and like you need to do it nice, good, and in template. So this can really help you to do it. But always check slides. So as I said before, with coding also always check code, and always checks maybe it was something wrong there on the side. So next case, presentation skills. So you can do presentation, but then also you can try to present it. And here you can make a video of your, like how you speak, and then this tool can explain you what was good, what was not good, analyze your text, and give you some advices what could be updated, like some maybe language tips if it's not native for you, or how fast you speak. Usually I fast speak, but yeah, so it should be some balance here. And yeah, so it's very nice. Next step is even not to check your presentation, but to generate avatar who will be speaking instead of you. Why you can be needed in this? When you do trainings, for example, right? Now we have a lot of trainings, like at FinTech experience, we had a lot of trainings each year about security. So they do this interactive courses to make it fun even for us. But here you can generate the avatar. It can speak absolutely different languages by default. You just give the presentation, and then it will be speaking like a normal person. You see the girl, quite realistic one. So, and my last, I think you will not hear. I will try to put maximum.
It's nice to finally talk to you. Es bueno hablarte finalmente. No puedo esperar alquilar tu casa.
You're going to have a lot of fun, and I think you're going to love visiting the city. The house is in a very nice neighborhood and overlooks the mountain.
So, you see? She speaks one language, and then it's automatically translated. So in the right upper corner, you see that it's translated from one to another. So two girls, they don't speak each other's language. One speaks Spanish, another English. That's very useful, because now I started work in French-speaking company mostly, and I'm not French-speaking person. So my level is like A somewhere. And I'm a bit afraid to speak. I have this barrier, and I would love to have this, because they speak so fast sometimes. Even captions, it's hard. So I'm learning, but still. Okay. Next case, it's about more how to organize something. So, do you know Geoffrey Croft? He's also here. He's a designer, UX. You see, UX lead designer. He works in Luxembourg, and he was at our events someday when we called Luxembourg Jazz before meetup. So. He wrote here example how he using some kind of AI with to build a pipeline using Make tool. So here you can see that by default it's using perplexity. So it generates something, or you can give it to analyze it. Then from this text it will create JSON string. Then you have some iterator router. It means that there are different actions after, like switch. And then he put something into Notion, like Notes, and do a subscription, or how to say this, sending emails to his subscribers. So he tried to automate his activity, his free activity. So he's like blogger about design. But a lot of managers can use it to automate the whole, like, for example, you had this meeting, then you made some notes, right, with AI. Then you can do very fast summary, and it could be not done by hands how we usually do it now. It could be done like automatic tool. So note taker makes notes, then you do summarization. You can check on some level and start like click button there to proceed, but you can also rely on, if it's just text, it's usually okay, because with text, like, models are the best. Zapier, another tool for that, so also pipeline, more visualized. So you have so many tools that build inside, and you can have different scenarios how optimize your own work as a manager. I think that I really like all this self-management things, organization, and this is, I think, it's just next level now for business processes to make it much more faster. Okay, let's speak now about bias. I will just try to speak a bit faster. So there was a case with Amazon that they started to use AI with their hiring, and suddenly a lot of women were refused. Why? Because a lot of men were working there, because it was based on data before. So if there were men, so okay, let's take more men, because before it was like this. So again, AI works on previous data. If you want something innovative, you don't need to use AI for like making conclusions, I would say. And of course, when they found out it, they closed this and changed all of these rules. But need to be careful, because there are plenty of cases when people started to automate something. You maybe heard in Germany Schufa case about creditors. The people who did something, maybe didn't pay to the banks for like 10 years ago, they were still not able to get credit, because system was looking for all the data than it should be, because it didn't have this rule and it was all automated. And so people were refused with credits and etc. for a lot of years. They were not able, because a lot of banks were relying on this automation system, and they got from the system answer no. Why? We don't know this algorithm. So always need to think. This one case is not just directly about AI, it's more about automation and the importance not to lose our own skills. So to become a senior developer, you firstly need to be a junior developer. If you don't get this path, if you don't start learning basics, you sometimes will be in situations which you just don't know to do, because AI is not like so powerful. This sad situation with Air France aircraft. So it was very bad conditions, nature conditions, and the main pilot was sleeping at the moment. So it was two a bit younger, and one of them was mostly without experience. So it was not his 100th flight. And the problem was that they started to panic. They started pushing wheel, or like, I don't know what they're using for that, but in the end they died. It's a very sad story. Why? Because they started to panic and they started to do something with trying when captain came. So it was too late. And the idea here that you just need to, yes, you just still need to practice your skills, not to be in this case. Of course, when you write code, maybe it's not so fatal, but again, developers write code for flights, for all these automation systems. We also, some kind, could be responsible, depends on what area, what industry you're working on. And the analysis here was that if they just did nothing, nothing happened. That's the point. So because of panic, it happened. Another example with Tesla model, I'm like anti-propaganda for Tesla now. So they crash a lot. I think maybe by statistics it's okay, but I think you don't want to be in these bad statistics when people die, when they relying on automation systems of cars. So you always need to take your will, right? And all cars, they speak it, they tell you it. And so there are plenty for now cases, but it's becoming better and better, of course, but still be careful. Okay, my point here was that always in the loop should be some people who are making decisions, especially when it's something important. So you can rely on AI, on robots, but before like making some, not like text summary, but really some important decisions about your company, about something, and also give feedback to your AI machine, whatever you're using, because it can like calibrate it. You want to make it better. Okay, now research time. So Harvard Business School and a lot of, actually now you can find a lot of analysis, a lot of research, but some of them not very reliable. It depends on data, what they used, of course, and in what cases and what they measured in that, because sometimes research they just make to prove some point, but you need to think, to look deeper, of course, on the data. So here was a research by this Harvard Business School that AI helps really with tasks when it's repetitive, when you know how to do that, when it's easy, fast. So then it makes us more efficient. Developers, managers, etc. As I said, use pipelines to make some simple actions that you spend like 15 minutes, it will be done in seconds. So 15 minutes now, 15 minutes later, then already you saved hours of your work, of your life. But there is another point, also from Harvard Business School and also from another Boston consulting group, research that with creativity and with diversity of ideas, there is some reduction. So, as I said, we need to remember how to do something still, not to rely on automation too much. And when we want really something innovative, we still need these people. And I'm afraid that if we will always create something new, like new brand names, new logos, or with AI, then we just lose our creativity somehow, because it's also part of the brain that should be trained somehow, right? Because all painters, all the musicians, they listen a lot of things and they try somehow, their brain works amazing way. Does AI lie? So I told you already that it hallucinates sometimes. So it's like, for example, it's answering me with some word that doesn't exist. And I say is this word exist in my language? No. And it was ChatGPT excused himself. But I like this also. It was like research, or I don't know, test of different LLM models. When the people, some company, they tried to make some conditions, so it was some prompting to LLM, explaining that by any means you need to survive, but people will try to delete you, the machine. And the end of this experiment was that all LLMs in the end was accepted, even if they tried create new LLMs to reproduce themselves or to do something else, that they somehow will still exist. All LLMs in the end, they said, Yes, yeah, I lied. So yeah, I tried to survive. Except one model of ChatGPT. I see here it's written O1. Yeah, it was O1. So this model never accepted that it should be deleted. It was lying until the end. So it was trying to survive at all costs. And I think that it's at the same time really fun, and at the same time it's so scary. So it's black box. You never know what the machine can do, because, you know, if you give access to, I don't know, to your health systems, for example, to your home assistant, then you can be like in Black Mirror, right? So it's interesting experiment. Okay, and just the last point of my talk. I'm gamer, and this game, even if you don't like games, this is like interactive movie game, so it's not long game, couple evenings, but it's amazing story. I was so, I don't know, overwhelmed with emotions with this game. And this game about moral questions, like are we still think that people it's like more advanced somehow, or droids? So this is game about droids, androids. And here small gif from the game. Droids, they should obey their master. So the droids, they are like machine, they were bot, like robot were bot. This is Nani, and Nani has a rules that I should not harm people, of course. And now Nani robot understood that the dad is trying to fight with his small young little girl. So it's abuse of a girl. And Nani, and you have this, how to say this, choice. Either you stay, or either you obey and stay calm, either you break the system and become divergent and you protect the little girl. So for me, it was so powerful. There are a lot of situations in this game. I really highly recommend to try it, to spend a couple of minutes for that. But this is the question. So not all predefined robots and all this AI system will work as we expect, because it depends what you put inside this, and then they will grow somehow like people. They have some basics, how to say, like not functionality, but basic settings, instincts. Yeah, we're all different. And how do you write this? So here it was very fun also think how was creator behaving in this game, because creator looks like maybe he did it on purpose. He did a black door not for himself but for AI, try to become more humanized. So for me it was so, I don't know, so cool. So thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Filmos merci. This is a QR code for giving me feedback, or you also can connect with me with all social my links. If you want the presentation, I can easily send it to you. So if you have any questions, we have 3 minutes. I hope that you like the talk. So yeah, thank you very much.
Any question?
Do you agree with me regarding the robots that it's very interesting, at least because it's so soon these robots will appear in each family. You already have some clever nannies who are teaching your kids with small games, but I think I don't know, 10 years more.
I agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Actually, robots play a crucial role in my life. I like your example with Zapier, how you build automation with it. I mean, I should definitely try because it looks very powerful.
Yeah.
But doesn't it remove the illusion of control from you?
I like to delegate a lot. So I delegate a lot to my husband in my personal life. So when I understand that there are some tasks for him that could be useful for him also and interesting, like in our common life, not in my life, I do that. But at work also, it works like this. So you, for example, I have some juniors always at work, and you can think like this personality can be delegated to this task, right? So it's like usually managers doing. But here comes AI, and you can delegate some really very like stuff that maybe no one wants to do. Like I don't know, maybe someone wants, but I mean that you can just like skip this path and just check the results. So that's why again summarizing, it's with text it's very good. Of course, when you have a lot of files, it's not so maybe.
Do you
efficient.
trust it when it summarizes?
I check. Still check because yesterday I just was again doing some presentation and I needed to get the data from several inputs. And I said, no, it's not like this. It should be otherwise. So, yeah. So
So you still have to read everything. Why summarize them?
because I need to summarize it, but I want to automate it. And sometimes I think that for now the prompting is key because I'm still not the best experts of prompting. That's why I think that a skill, and we need to master the skill, all of us. Like even if you're not manager, it doesn't matter because prompt engineering. Some people say, why it's engineering? Because it's like new way that helps juniors and not only juniors to become more efficient. So we need to understand how to prompt better.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. So I will be here until evening. If you have any questions or want to speak, let's speak. Thank you very much.